long-awaited Grandstand 32-inch HDM, Heavy Duty Mini is what the HDM stands for. Guys, this is Toro's newest stand-up. It is available at the end of this month. We spent the day testing it. We mowed a lawn with it. We went through some small gates with it. We did all kinds of fun things. And here's everything you need to know about the new Grandstand HDM. Okay, so today's episode is gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna let just the mowing footage speak for itself. I'm gonna talk about it while we are mowing. We are featuring the Grandstand HDM 32-inch. This is based off the X-Mart Staris. There were some problems with their 48, 52, and 60, and they ended up discontinuing the Staris line. But they still make the 32 and 36 in the X-Mart because it was actually a great product. The same issues they were having on the 48, 52, and 60, they weren't having on the 32 and the 36. The smaller platform had better warranty data, and it was a really great machine. So Toro, wanting to offer a 32-inch as well, went to their sister company and said, hey, we want to offer a 32-inch, and they brought on the Staris 32 and 36. So now if you are in the Toro family and you want to buy a 32-inch or a 36 stand between, not a stand behind, they make it in a Toro so you can continue using your awesome Toro dealer. Guys, so this one today that we're looking at is the 32. It's a two-blade setup. The pumps are located above the motor. They're wheel motor and pumps. There are direct linkages from the handles to your pumps, so it has a very nice, smooth feel. It is powerful. It has a 19 horsepower engine, and it never bogged down. I got into some heavy grass today, and it did really, really well. It is super skinny. When you fold up that flap, you can go through gates, you can go through hedges, you can get into all the little nitty-gritty areas that you can't fit even your 36 through. This mower can fit anywhere. It's pretty light. I actually got stuck in some nasty mud. It's been raining in Florida for the last 2 months, and I got into some gnarly mud today, and I got off the back and was able to power through. This thing kind of floated up over it, even with its skinny tires. The skinny tires, let's talk about them for a second. They are 21/7/10s. These are the same tires that you might be familiar with if you ever had a Gravely 34-inch. They're tall, so you can go over stuff well, but they do have a tendency to twist and rip the grass. It's all a part of the nature. You gotta squeeze this machine in, you gotta make it skinny, and the only way to do that well is to put skinny tires on it, but there are gonna have some fallbacks, and that's gonna be some twisting of that grass. As far as build quality and how it's gonna hold up, this machine is built extremely heavy duty. Has the Toro heavy duty 7-gauge deck. If you look at the bumper on this thing, it is like an inch thick piece of steel bent around the edge. It doesn't have a bullnose bumper like we're used to seeing on most Turbo Force decks. It is a Turbo Force deck, but it has a different lip on it just to kind of make it all a little bit tighter, narrower. Still very, very heavy duty. Still has the same spindles that go on the 36 Grandstand that we're used to, the cast iron spindles. They're great spindles. They're tried and tested and do fantastic. It has some really creative belt solutions. One deck belt, which I really appreciate. It's extremely accessible. You can get to the belts on the front, you can get to the engine very well, you can get to the transmissions really well, the pumps really well. Everything has panels and compartments that you can access, and that's super rare, especially for a compact machine like this. This HDM, it's very user-friendly, and now it's been around for a little while. They figured out all the little warranty points that I think this thing is dialed in. As far as the feel and drive, the machine drove well. It does much better in long straightaways and things like that. As you turn on slopes or try to maneuver and like around trees and things, these tires can have a tendency to twist the grass a little bit, and you need to be cautious. You need to just slow down, take your time. This machine is for people who are gonna be going through gates a lot. People who need a machine to get into that backyard that has a narrow entryway. If you don't need a 32-inch, a 36-inch is probably gonna leave less twisting of the grass. It's gonna cut probably a little bit better, and it's gonna be easier to maneuver, especially I was going over some roots by these oak trees, and this small, narrow platform with this small tires was really kind of beating me up as I was going over them. And I feel like if I had the 36, I would have been able to kind of scoot my body away from the machine a little bit, lean with it, rock with it, and wouldn't have hurt quite as much. And that's something to consider if you have bad knees or things like that. The 36 still might be your best option. The question is this machine better than the 36? Is standing between better? Does it feel better? Does it turn better? Does it work better? And honestly, I don't like it as much as I like the 36. The 36 just has a little bit bigger tires. It's a little more forgiving. The deck hangs out a little more. It's a little easier to maneuver. But a lot of times guys will buy 36-inch grandstand and they'll buy a 30-inch Time Master. But instead, maybe you would opt in for the 32 to kind of fill both those gaps. It really depends on your accounts. If you guys are interested in a 32, if you look at all the stats, the TORO Grandstand HDM 32-inch wins on paper every time. Against the Skag, against the Hustler, it is the bigger engine, the better deck, the better hydros. And when I use it, the 32 feels really well sorted. It's definitely a commercial machine. It's gonna be a great machine for whoever buys it. Guys, we have a lot of grandstand videos. We go over all different types. We have the HDX, we have the standard grandstand, we have the Revolution grandstand, and they're all in a playlist in the description box below. If you guys like learning about different equipment and learning all their features, please subscribe. We love you guys. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you. Take it easy.